are we doing? Are we planning to bring home our students, or what assistance is being provided at this time? And Prime Minister Drew did indicate that he had had conversations with the ambassador to from St. Kitts and Nevis to Cuba,
Yeah.
Ambassador Verna Mills,
Yeah.
and the ambassador from Cuba to St. Kitts and Nevis to see what's happening on the ground, so the government is aware of what's happening, and if needs be, they're ready to step in to provide assistance. So they're closely monitoring the situation.
But the students need assistance now, as we speak, based on what I've been hearing from students who are studying there, friends of mine, Cuban friends of mine who live in Cuba. They need assistance now. I mean, sometimes they don't have electricity for a few days, and they still have to study. Food, you can't find food in the store. Cost of crate of eggs
Even
is,
if you
is
have
really
money,
high. Right, you still
you
can't find
still can't
certain
buy
things.
anything.
Right.
And I think one of the things that stands out to me is with this entire situation is sad, because this is a situation that is not an act of God. We're not
Right.
speaking about a major hurricane. We're not speaking about a crisis that happened because of an earthquake. We're speaking about a man-made crisis,
Correct.
right? And that, for me, I don't know. And this is not against Prime Minister Drew at all, but I expected more from the region.
As
I
a unit,
expected
correct, yeah.
more from the region, because we are sitting back and looking at someone, a diplomatic ally, a country that we have diplomatic relations with, basically fall,
Yep.
and we're doing nothing. We're not doing anything. Most of us ain't even had nothing to say, because I understand that the politicians, they're in a difficult situation, and some of them, they really don't want to say anything because they don't want to offend whoever. Right? I know you don't understand that, but I understand that they don't want to offend, right? But what about us, the people? We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna say anything. What about the Cuban Alumni Association? Oh, you ain't saying nothing. No being included.
But I mean,
It's like,
and you are correct, and we don't want to offend, but at the end of the day, somebody must feel offended.
I feel offended.
Either is the man who fallen and fell a few times that you ain't pick him up will feel offended,
Exactly.
or the guy who telling you to offend them will get offended. So at
Exactly.
the end of the day, somebody must feel hurt. Somebody must get offended.
Exactly.
And
this is not in defense of the Cuban government and whatever it is, and the style of governance. It is not in defense of that, because at the end of the day, when you see politicians fight and you see these policies put in place, you know who they affect? The people on the go.
it does.
Because I can guarantee the president is living and living well.
As always, as always, and so it's a really sad situation. A sad and a difficult situation that our Caribbean brothers and sisters have to be going through this and going through it alone, you know. And as you rightly said, who is us to determine what regime should run Cuba, yes or not? That's a decision that the Cuban people should make. And
Self-determination.
correct. But, I mean, when you look at the hospitals without electricity, the schools without electricity, the universities where our children
The
are.
garbage piling up on the streets because there's no gas to drive the garbage trucks.
Correct. And so we were always told, even though Cuba has not much violence, that you just gotta be careful. You're in a strange country, you have to be careful. It crossed my mind the other day, at what point in time when the situation will get desperate enough for our children to be seen as targets? Well, they might got a little food over there and
Yeah.
Menganan over here.
Yeah.
You know? So
Definitely.
we got to monitor the situation properly. We got to be able to help our brothers and sisters, help our children who are out there, and make sure that
You know something?
they could survive.
That just came to my mind as well. I find in St. Kitts, and I know this is going to be a controversial statement, and I'm going to say it anyway because it is what it is. But I find in St. Kitts we have selective outrage.
We do.
Because I remember a few years ago when Dr. Harris made a very unfortunate statement about Cuba and persons being trained in Cuba. We all jumped up and we all spoke about it. I spoke out against it. I spoke out against the comments that he made, right? We're still outraged today. And I'm not speaking about outrage against the government here, but where is the outrage about what is happening generally? We ain't gonna outrage because we want a visa and we want to go to the
Yeah.
States and we want that kind of. So we're not outraged. We don't have any, and for me that just makes me sad.
I had a conversation with someone the other day, trying to understand, and we could sit where we are and we could make the comments because we don't understand the implication of not supporting America or supporting
Because
Cuba.
we're stupid? Like,
Listen,
what you mean that we don't understand?
And for me, you should have a moral stance. This is a country that has been supposedly helping you for all these years. These are people who come out here and help us. Our children are going out there to study. Where is the compassion? But then you stop and you reflect and you see it. You see that thousands of people would vote for a particular political party here in St. Kitts and even in the Caribbean, and as soon as we win, we just turn it back on them. So if we could turn it back on we own, we could turn it back on anybody because we don't have that moral stance.
Not even that. We turn our backs on the very people who helped to put us in office, the very people who campaigned
Exactly.
shoulder to shoulder with us.
Yes.
So if we can do that,
Then nobody else is off limits. Nobody else is off limits. And so we have a moral obligation to take care of one another. When you're taking these positions to be leaders, to be ministers, to preside over the country, represent our country at home and abroad, we have a moral obligation, and anything we engage in must have a benefit to St. Kitts, whether it be immediate or long term. And most of the things that you see going on out there don't have any benefit for St. Kitts, either immediate or long term, you know? And so even if you look at our last press conference, our political leader, she spoke about giving the children assistance. The children can't vote. 13 years old can't vote, 14 years can't vote. And we spoke about giving those that area of our people some assistance because it is definitely needed.
and I want to, that was going to be the next point. So I'm happy that you introduced that because the People's Action Movement did have a
Right.
press conference last week. What day was it? Thursday?
Thursday, I think it was.
Listen, the days are going so fast.
On a treadmill.
Yeah. So it was last week, Thursday, and you mentioned the student subsidy
Yes.
program,
Yes.
which the leader of the People's Action Movement announced, Natasha Shani-Greybrook. She announced that program. So tell us a little bit about the program because she spoke about it assisting students, not just for today, but it being a permanent program.
Correct. What the program try to do is alleviate some financial pressure from the families. I mean, the families are really suffering right now. Internal problems in St. Kitts and globally. So families, the spending power that families have is diminished in some ways. And so the subsidy aimed to provide some alleviation to those financial woes that families are facing right now. So what we were looking at is from first form and second form, each child would get 100 EC dollars. Third form, fourth form, and fifth form, they would get 125 EC dollars
A month?
a month, correct. And CFBC students would get 150 EC dollars a month. You know, two, you need a geometry set on your uniform shirt, mash up, you know, something just to help out, help bus fees, if you have to pay for an extra class so you could get your subjects, and just basically providing that buffer so that your family don't have to choose between buying a new uniform shirt for you because it got all inked up, or, well, we got to throw some gas in the vehicle. So you have your own little monies to help out.
Or we have to buy food because some people don't even have a vehicle.
Correct, yeah. So, as I say, it doesn't fix all the financial problems that the students would have, but it's a help.
No, I know some similar programs, there's a cutoff point. So let's say there's a family with 5 children. We might say, well, we'll provide assistance for 3.
No,
Is that going to happen
no.
with this program?
No.
So it's every child?
Once you're 13, from first form to college, the cutoff point is when you graduate from college.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just to help.
So it's high school students and students at the tertiary level?
Yes.
No. Public school and private school?
Public schools.
Okay.
Public schools. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. And if you can't be compassionate, you have to be mindful that it's people you're dealing with, and people make up these families, and these families make up the communities, and these communities make up the country that you're serving. And as I say, I canvass and I look at people living condition. I look at how they are surviving, and realize it's very, very, very difficult. And sometimes I could attribute the politicians disappearing for 4.5 years because they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to see. They don't want it to bother their conscience. But it should bother their conscience the way people live in. It should. Every day, it's like opening up a new book saying, wow, look at what's going on here. Wow, look at what's going on over here. How is that possible? But people finding a way to survive in those harsh conditions, and it is our duty, our obligations to make sure that we can assist our people. And so that subsidy would serve as a well-needed help for our children. And it to also, in addition to that, we want to start introducing some money management courses, because the money wouldn't be given to the parents.
Oh.
But the money would be given to
The students?
the students, so that they could start knowing the value of money, one, and as simple as it looks, if you spend off your $100, you gotta wait till next month. So you have to be able to manage your $100 so it could last you till next month, and understand, well, when it's done, it's done. And you can't ask for the next $25 to add on to it because your $100 is done. And so start teaching children the value of money and how to budget properly and how to stretch your money properly, you know? So.
And I think the question was asked at the press conference as well. So we know that the government now has a program, Aspire, whereby children are given $500 to bank. Well, they're not given the money. The money is put in an account for them. How would both programs work together?
But I can't tell you about the Aspire because I know parents, and this is facts, you know, some people just want to talk because they want to abuse the government. I know parents who signed up for the Aspire program went into National Bank and asked about it, and the tellers indicate to them that they themselves don't even know because they can't say what's going on with the program. They don't have the information. They don't know of persons who actually got the Aspire before. So I really don't know.
Okay. But regardless, this is a program that the People's Action Movement intends to implement.
Correct, for our children.
No, my question, Nubian, I'm going to ask you this. How soon does the People's Action Movement intend to implement this? Because we have seen politicians come during campaign periods and say, listen, we're going to do X, we're going to do Y, we're going to do all kind of things, all kind of promises. And then you see like 4 years pass of a 5-year term and we don't see it.
I'll go back to when Sir Kennedy Simmons spoke a lot of years ago, spoke about abolishing personal income tax.
You remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't. I do not. Trust me, we ain't got them kind of age on me yet. And it was said that as soon as PAM won, it was abolished. And we are saying as soon as PAM win, our children will start to get our subsidy to make sure that they could handle a few business.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you this question because it's a question that is near and dear to my heart. The children have to be nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, once you go into our schools here.
Once you're enrolled in a school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just checking because, we tend to overlook a whole subsection of our population.
Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We won't discriminate like that. Once you go into school, once the school accepts you, I mean, and so you would be allowed to get the subsidy because you would need the help anyway.
Definitely.
And it wouldn't be right for you to be, well, because my parents, they may born here in St. Kitts, but are still going to school here. And so those other kids could get you and I can't. Those other kids could afford to pay a little bus fee. Or those kids could afford to, And one of the things that we discuss also is that subsidy, children ain't going to just buy a geometry set every month. I mean, you might buy a soda, buy a tray. You'd buy a drink in the canteen. You'd come out and support the local vendors outside the school to get a little lunch sometimes, So that money, even though it be given to the kids, it would circulate where it's needed in the grassroots in our economy and help provide a little buffer for those entrepreneurs also.
Okay. So you want to take a commercial break
yes,
so
take
we
a commercial
can interact
break
with the
and
people?
open the lines
because
up.
I'm certain that the listeners, they have questions about this program. So we're going to take a commercial break. This is Hot Topics Live right here on Freedom FM.
FreedomFM1065.com. From St. Kitts and Nevis to the world, Freedom FM 106.5 FM.
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Every day we're faced with choices to spend or to save, to delay or to stay on track. It's discipline that shapes our future because discipline means making the choice today that pays off tomorrow. Remember, discipline, choice, pays. A message from the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Have you heard that Mind, Body, and Soul is back?
Yes, Mind, Body, and Soul is back on Sundays at 4 p.m. only on Freedom FM, hosted by the inspiring Julie Charles. This is your go-to show for thought-provoking and uplifting conversations. Every Sunday, dive into topics that nourish your mind, body, and soul, from wellness tips to personal growth to deep conversations. Julie brings you the stories that inspire change and spark reflection. Don't miss out. Tune into Minds, Body, and Soul on Sundays at 4 p.m. and let Freedom FM guide you to a more balanced and inspired life. Minds, Body, and Soul on Freedom FM Sundays at 4 p.m.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Get the Freedom FM app now. Just search Freedom FM app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and start listening today.
Back. This is Hot Topics Live right here on Freedom FM, and our numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. This afternoon we are speaking a little bit about education, and we are speaking about a new program that the People's Action Movement is putting forward. So let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon. You're specifically speaking about that program, or you're going to talk about Cuba as well?
Yeah, you could talk about that as well.
Okay, because I find it really strange, as you pointed out, that all these Cuban professionals,
like Nubian,
trained there, like Nubian,
Yes.
like the Prime Minister,
and
yes.
calling them out one by one.
Yes.
why there's just absolute silence from them? Because to me, right, you can condemn somebody's action. You may not be able to do anything about it, but you certainly can condemn somebody's action on moral and humanitarian grounds.
Right.
Right? And why is that not done? That's all. You're not...
And you realize that we're very vocal about everything on social media, but that we don't have anything to say about.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, it's really frightening how that shut up people. You know, after all that the Cuban people, I'm not talking about the regime, the Cuban people have done, you know, to help us, that we can't even express some solidarity with them or sympathy or empathy.
We can't even say that you're in our prayers.
You know, that's really strange. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. You know, and Nubian, yeah, okay. Do it one by one. Nubian is in the studio. Do you condemn the action of an oil embargo against Cuba? Unequivocally.
I do. And I could justify my point. If we have a situation in Haiti that is so wrong and nobody invade Haiti to help Haiti. We have people eating people in Haiti and nobody ain't gone into Haiti. Hold on.
The words spoken by Nubian are of Nubian.
Correct, of Nubian alone. Nobody ain't invade Haiti to assist Haiti, but Haiti still got oil at the pump. In Cuba now, they don't have no oil at all. The hospitals are running on I don't know what. The schools have no electricity. All them other things going on in Haiti. And we find Haiti under a massive amount of pressure. Cuba is under a massive amount of pressure. Why?
But, it wasn't even targeted. I could understand if somehow they found a way to target maybe the regime that is running Cuba. But why this collective punishment thing is against international law? You don't punish a whole country like that.
Well, let's just be frank.
All young, everybody.
We know that the United States government and some other governments around the world, they don't adhere to international law. Their law is the only law. We saw that with the conflict in Gaza recently, right?
I think yes, that's true. I think that is what, when the world just sat by
exactly
and let that happen,
and now we're
opened the floodgate.
And now we're sitting back and seeing this happen in the Caribbean.
Right, right in our neighborhood.
Exactly. We sat back and we saw boat strike after boat strike after boat strike in Caribbean waters, and we said nothing. You realize they're coming not now?
And they're saying that, I heard somebody saying that there were fishermen. That's what I was hearing.
They're moving not now.
Because that last attack happened between St. Vincent, right?
And St. Lucia.
St. Vincent and St. Lucia, correct.
But from the time they were told, and even in the United States, people was expressing some concern about this. They were told, they were not given evidence that these people are actually drug smugglers.
Exactly.
And you're just picking them off out the water. You see a boat there.
And then you strike the boat and people don't die, and you strike it again.
Exactly.
And what this is the outrage that enough people have not stood up and said, well, this is just wrong.
So what happened to the right to a trial? What happened to being innocent before you're guilty? I guess that's out the window. You just meet the executioner.
And what
based on his discretion.
As you said, Jamie, they're not interested in international law now, in any law period.
No, not even the U.S. law.
From the time they just went in and took Maduro, and not only did that, but actually said straight out, we are going to run the country.
And then President Trump posted on...
Who's going to get oil and who is not.
And then President Trump posted on Twitter that he's the interim president of Venezuela.
That's wrong.
And but Nubian, it is wrong.
What is to prevent that from happening to any other place in the Caribbean?
But it is wrong, and we're not saying anything. It's like we're just afraid. It's like we're afraid that he may come here and take people from here. So we just sit down and be quiet.
Exactly.
And then remember when that happened with the Venezuelan President Maduro? All flights were stopped for that day, right? Mm-hmm. So now that is being used as a reason as to not to say anything because we want the planes to still come. We want the cruise ships to still come, so we should not say anything. We should just sit back and look at what's happening and just be quiet.
But what I'm saying is, what is wrong in saying that you do not agree with the policy and condemn it as against international law, the United Nations Charter, all of that? What is wrong in just saying that, coming straight out and putting that as a position? It can't stop the US from doing anything, obviously.
You may lose your visa.
And we don't want to lose your visa.
Hmm?
You think that's all it is?
But that's all that we visibly see.
Mr. McMahon, to be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but I feel like we have lost the plot. We're missing something.
Something.
We're missing something.
Anyway, we'll see what happens next week when the heads.
What's gonna happen?
All over again.
No, Jamie, they might surprise us.
Nothing gonna happen.
Huh?
Nothing will happen.
They might say,
We'll have high-level discussions about all of the issues.
Correct.
We'll speak about sustainability. We'll speak about climate change, climate resilience. We'll speak about maintaining the Caribbean as a zone of peace while people dropping bombs in the Caribbean. And we're going to move on with our lives.
Yeah.
And everybody going to go back to their individual
I'm hoping
country.
that they pleasantly surprise us. I'm hoping that they come up with at least do something like what Mexico did and have a boat go through the Caribbean, let ordinary people contribute stuff, and they drop it off in Cuba.
For them to bomb the boat?
I'm telling you.
And I'm laughing, but I'm not really trying to be funny, eh? I'm serious.
Well, I mean, I'd hate to think that it would go as far as that.
Oh,
Quite.
okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Okay, McMahon.
Thank you so much to that caller for his contribution. The lines remain open at 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Call in and share with us. We want to hear from you. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
Jamie and Lubian.
Hey.
This is Jam down here talking, you hear?
Hey, Manners, what's
Let
up?
me show you something. Just when Mr. McMahon do a morning time and Win FM, I realize he's trying to do it here. So when you guys say and come off the phone, and the people want to call, that's why the people I'm saying ain't calling. You understand? Come on, it's a shaitan. Jamie, you walk, Sophie, you walk long enough round the big jail. The big jail don't run shut up. You tell me you are
No, but the big JL, the big JL is the big JL, and Jamie is gonna be Jamie, right? So I mean, there were no other calls coming in at the time.
Hey.
I want to tell you, right? Who shall bank carry the regular platform for think it's 1 lot of years? And if Crucial Banky can't get on the music festival, I will advise a lot of petition and magnate people where you're representing to don't go up the music festival. These people is criminals. Where Banky do the music festival committee. That's the superstar. I hear you can't steal infamous. And all these guys, well, when money come from Jamaica, cheap eat us. When the money first need us. Have a good day. This is Jam Dog. I don't back down, Jamie.
Neither me. Man, listen. I don't know why Manners feel like he doesn't know me. You know, he calls in and he behaves as though that he doesn't know I'm going to stand my ground. There were no other calls coming in at the time.
Right. But is there an issue with Crucial Banky?
I don't know. He raised the issue. I
Okay.
don't know.
We
This
gotta
is the
look at
first
it.
time I'm hearing about that. But
Right.
you know, I think Crucial Banky is an excellent performer,
Most
and I
definitely.
think he should have the opportunity to be on the music
Correct,
festival as well.
correct.
So let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jamie and Julian. This is express on your phone line. Enjoy, appreciate, don't hate. Two things I want to add. Number one, the thing what I'm talking about, the Cubans,
Uh-huh.
That is a easy go around. How are you going to release them?
We can't.
And then
You,
come back
no,
and
Ben, you're hearing him?
It's very faintly.
Come a little closer to your phone, please. Speak a
Sorry about
little
that. You hear me
louder.
now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I was saying, right, the thing with the Cuban,
Mm-hmm.
we both send back all the Cuban doctors and whatever. It's a simple go around for that, right? Let them go, send them back, and let them come back on the road. And you simply employ them.
Mm-hmm.
If they come back on the road, you tell me you can't employ people who come back in your country who you're allowed to come in your country, and then are coming under any government thing.
Right.
That's for that. We don't need it. The next thing I want to touch on is the border. It seems like anything with 3 engines and that run fast is a junk boat in the US. So I would suggest we then need to go back down to the 1 engine thing and go slow. Even if you fast, just go slow. Maybe that might make more sense for them. Because I can't see how you can tell me somebody out there fishing going out towards the fishing ground or whatever, and because the boat is going over maybe 15, 20 knots, or you walk out the jump boat so you shoot it up and you can bomb the boat. That's foolishness. But then again, as I said, when big dog bark, small puppy behave, that's what's going on right now.
Apparently, but Carla,
We need to figure out if it's a risk, because if
you don't see the risk?
If there is fishermen here with fast fishing boats,
Of course it's a risk. But Nubia, we had this conversation recently about a boat. And remember what I said to you? That I not going on no boat. Remember?
Yeah.
That's like saying, right, if me and you decide to go recreational and take a boat go fast, we're going 15, 20 knots per hour, 25 knots per hour. And we're going from here to probably just out for a ride out there and come back. And then man see me on the radar, they bust some high velocity roads in Abia.
And nothing is going to happen, eh? There will be no justice.
That's foolishness. You can't tell me because the boat running fast, you're going to shoot it, and you're going to fire rounds after it. That just don't make no sense.
But Carla, you are Cuban born. How do you feel about the silence that is happening in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the region?
The silence is deafening. And it's deafening because of the fact that it's people who are suffering. The government are suffering. I could tell you this much. None of them people who are in government in Cuba right now, are in the regime in Cuba right now, none of them are suffering. None. Because whatever little is there, they share it up between them.
Exactly.
The man in the corner.
Exactly. The poor people, the people who already don't have.
In the countryside.
Yep. Yep.
So, this, and mind you, they have some reserves that are there, you know. So, the reserves that are there, they done, for the time they see the child say, everybody gotta tighten their belt. You know why they're saying that? And why they showed that earlier back? Is to let the population, the general population know, listen, yeah, they're gonna get nothing from Abby, so just whatever you got, hold on for it. Simply that.
Because Cuba does produce a small amount of oil. You know, I believe they produce about 400 barrels a day, I think it is.
Small amount of producing and keeping it for the regime. Unfortunately.
And that is the problem with the Cuban regime. Their priorities always seems to be twisted.
The priority lies in the rich getting richer or the rich falling down.
I don't even think it's that so much, but it's on maintaining power.
It's that.
Maintaining power.
The same people who in power, right? If I was to tell you, I'm wishing a lot of people will know this thing because a lot of people will follow it up the way. But if I was to tell you, right, a lot of them, they got families that live in the States, in Europe, like the main bulk of the family, not live in Cuba either.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to take power, they start sending people out. And they just like how they send the people out, just how they send the money behind them.
Yeah.
Because if you follow the history, Fidel Castro had people, family of his, outside of Cuba, you know, and them had out their businesses, you know. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, half of Miami, when the Mariel, right, in 84. Let me get this. When the Mariel in 84, a lot of the people who left Cuba, more like 60% of them been either people who empower family or, well, as they would say, Castro opened up the jail. Right? So, when they did all that, if you go Miami right now, and you follow a lot of the trail.
But a lot of those people too, we're going to disagree on that. Because a lot of those people too were people who had some wealth in Cuba before the revolution.
Yes, yes.
So a lot of them had...
A lot of them were from Batista's
exactly,
as well.
exactly.
But I'm talking about presently and from previously, wherein a lot of them had people inside there.
Yeah, that is true. And yeah, that is true. That is true.
Tell me that, okay. Another thing. And Newman could probably touch on this one as well, because he was studying there for a while, right? With all the embargo, what they say, got all these things, right? If you go in any shop or any supermarket in Cuba right now, and you pick up a fucking chicken, you come from the US.
Yeah. Some of it. Some of it.
Right? And you can't, nothing can come in from the country in your country. And nothing can go left from me yard and go to your yard. How you get things out of me yard?
Good question.
Yeah, a lot of things that not really like touching and looking into.
Well, maybe one day you can come.
But
do you even come to St. Kitts anymore? Because I don't see you.
I do, but I don't have a planet. I don't plan coming.
Okay, so maybe one day you can plan to come on Hot Topics, right, Nubian?
Yes, of course. And as a Cuban born.
As a Cuban born Kittitian division.
Yeah, you
one
could.
Of these days, I'll come on and we could have a
discussing the certain things.
A lot of little things that you all really don't know about, so it wouldn't come out like that. But yeah, there are a lot of little loopholes, and again, you see the little loophole, and I'm hoping that somebody out there is listening who could send the information back to the government if they don't know about it.
Listen, they know. What you mean?
Yeah, but guess what? Okay, so Jamie is like, you would know, right? You would know that walking across the road without looking left or right to figure knocked down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because nobody will tell you to take a chance, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're gonna talk.
But once somebody starts saying it, then they got to look into it.
Uh-huh. Well, let's see. Let's hope. They usually listen to Nubians, so.
Me?
Yeah, because new girl hit that all again. Somebody gonna get this one new girl this time around. You will think that? Somebody gonna get something.
Okay, so we're gonna organize for you to be here, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Okay. Get it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, have a good afternoon.
Yeah, man. Bless up.
Bless. Okay, the lines remain open at 6465-6474 or 465-0546 or 662-1065. And that caller touched on exactly what we're speaking about. Nobody here defending the Cuban regime or the Cuban government. But what we are saying is the policies being put forward are wrong. Two things could be wrong at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. As you correctly say, we are not here to determine who should govern Cuba.
At all. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Madam Jamie.
Good afternoon, Pastor. How are you?
I'm peaceful. And to your guest.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to go a little slow so that probably persons can digest what I am saying. Now, the persons who are supposed to be representing us, like government, whichever government, or persons who are in government, would have that privilege sometimes to meet with representatives from different countries like the United States, have meetings with them and so on from time to time according. Then they have the United Nations Assembly. Annually or otherwise, I'm not too sure. And so they speak at these places. Now, I know Jamie, like many of us, would say that nobody is saying anything. And I believe that nobody, I would hope.
No. That is not what I said. I am not saying that they are not saying anything, because they are saying. The problem is that the problem lies in implementation, because we speak a lot, but we don't see the action coming from the talk.
Actually, what I am trying to arrive at, when I said nobody, I was interpreting it to mean from a more population standpoint, because the point that I am trying to make is that it would be those persons who are in those top positions in government who have the opportunity to speak on our behalf, to speak, because how far would my voice go? Only generally to the St. Kitts people or those who choose into Freedom or other radio stations. So I'm saying that those persons who are in a position to speak, you say sometimes they might say things, but it's the implementation, which is true. But sometimes they don't say anything either when they are supposed to speak. So they are not representing us in the way that they ought to represent us. So you can have, in spite of others who might be in agreement, a particular country, for instance, our country, can stand up and say no, even if 10 other countries in the Caribbean say yes to something which is detrimental to us, which would be hampering us. And we are not getting these things from the different leaders of the different countries when they do have the opportunity to defend us.
Pastor, let me ask you, why you think that we're not getting that sort of representation from our leaders?
Could be a lot of things.
Because you rightly said they are charged with the responsibility to lead us in a direction that is beneficial for us here, not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, but those other leaders that are charged with the same responsibility to represent the other countries. But as you rightly said, we're not getting that sort of leadership, and probably asking the question, why you think that we're not getting it?
And this is what I'm saying, could be a multiplicity of things, but I want to say that I believe that one of the things that is allowing their minds to be manipulated or overtaken is that of the thinking that we are totally dependent on the U.S. for supplies of goods, or maybe for visas, or for aircrafts coming here, and things like that. Tourists, passengers, you name it. But in the heat of all that, or in spite of all that, rather, so it should be wrong is wrong and right is right. So we need to stand up. But I want to go on to say, as we realize that we are talking and nothing easily is happening, we have to understand, and probably nothing easily would happen either, because of the dominance of the United States, so to speak, over the world. And so we are seeing that the United States are doing whatsoever they please when they want, maybe even if people stand up, but yet it must be shown first that we stand up or stood up. And then when he goes, or the United States goes the extra mile, then we'll be able to say, after all, these people put their cards on the table. But I want to take it a step much further, and this is from a spiritual standpoint. We are realizing that the United States are doing as they like. I want to say this, and I don't want it to be taken lightly, because if the smaller countries are us in the Caribbean, the West Indies, they are taking advantage of us because of our size and lack of that kind of power in terms of ammunition and so on. I want to say that please understand. And people, if you didn't hear anything else that I said, hear this. Please understand that Jehovah God is still in control. And I believe, and I'm calling upon believers, children of God everywhere, to keep on praying. Prayer works, because we are seeing the physical might of the United States imposing upon us. So if we are not able to deal with that from a physical, humanistic standpoint, how else are we going to be able to deal with it but from a spiritual standpoint? So I want to say that there are people here in St. Kitts and other places who are still praying and believing. And sometimes what we think cannot happen or will not happen will happen. God allows governments to go up, and he also takes them down. So again, I say in closing, let us realize that it might appear as if nothing is happening or nothing will happen. But I'm saying this is the answer, because we are not might to go with that might in terms of the United States and so on, doing as they like, placing embargo on whoever they are doing it on, going into our waters, doing all kind of things, shooting, and so on. So who else are we going to look to, since we are not able physically to deal with it? So I said to us this afternoon that God is still on his throne, and prayer works. Prayer works. I am not taking this lightly, what is happening, because I realize if I come on radio, you think Trump know about Pastor Jabur? You think Trump going to be tuning into Freedom FM to listen to Pastor Jabur? The people here who do it, who I can have some impact on with the word of God and so on, like they usually respond in that manner. So again, I say, I urge us. Sometimes we just look at things from a physical, natural standpoint, as if we don't have superpowers or a superpower in terms of Jehovah God, his Son, and his Holy Spirit. So God bless you all, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Pastor Joport, and remind the people that you'll be here shortly, no?
Oh, well, thanks for that. Praise God. I am going to be those of you, and I wanted to say this because I don't really like to say these things, but it's amazing to see and to hear the persons who listen to things pertaining to God. Sometimes I'm caught in up when I'm approached left, right, and center in relation to that of. And again, I say these things humbly in relation to that of. When are you going to go back on the radio? People are getting fed up of hearing certain things over and over again, which is not beneficial, so to speak, to their lives. And so, whether we believe it or not, there are some persons who are, it's surprising to me to a certain extent, when some people approach me, and it's like all what they want to hear is about God and his word. And I thank God for that, because they realize a lot of things are not working. People are fooling people. Politicians are fooling people. Governments are fooling people. So, I would talk more about this. when I come on the radio. God bless you all. Thanks for having me to remind you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Duport, and I would want you to send a special prayer out for St. Kitts and hope that we get the change that we need. But you're laughing, you ain't planning to pray for St. Kitts?
I hope you are not trying to smartly take me down some political road.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that we need change. We need politicians who genuinely care about St. Kitts and Nevis. And so those that we have, and a few of those that we had in the past, seem to not have taken it as serious as they should. So I'm saying, say a prayer for us that we could find those politicians that we need and get that necessary change that we need and get those persons in office that genuinely care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, not people who, as you rightly said, people who fooling and tricking people just to get into politics.
But it's my bounden duty to pray all the time, as much as I possibly can, for the people of St. Christopher and Nevis. But whether you believe it or not, because of time constraints, when I heard you speaking earlier on, I wanted to say, but I didn't want to forget what I had in mind to say first. And I said it to you, that when I hear you, I have heard you before and before and before. And I think you are aware that some of these things that you are saying, which sound nice and good, that we have had, and with all due respect to you, I'm not trying to put you in any guilty category, but I think you are aware that there are persons who have come before, and even presently who are in government, have spoken things nicely and good and sound really good, and they have caught people and caused them to go and vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
So because you are aware, how do you look at it with you saying things that sound nice and it appears as if that, listen, I would not be like that person, because those people out there, you have not served them yet. They are not in a position, or they are not in a position to say that Mr. Greer would not do the same. So I come off the line and I ask to address this. Mr. Greer would not do the same. In spite of persons who, as it were, deceived, Mr. Greer would not deceive. How can we take that as something factual or more so as the truth? All the best.
Yeah, man. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you so much, Pastor. The pastor telling you don't mix him, no beer.
Well, he's
mix the man.
He's telling me that, and it's the truth, because you go out and you hear it in saying, boy, but I know I know, you know, and I know where you come from, I know your mother, I know your father, I know this, I know that, I know everything. But you know, somebody come 5 years ago and tell me the same thing. 4.5 years ago, they had other people here telling me the same things that you're telling me. I spoke to a lady yesterday who said, and she's in her 60s, and she said, since she voted, every time they come by her, they promise that they're going to give her a house. Every time. And to date,
she doesn't have a house.
She doesn't have a house. And every time they come with a new way to say it, to make her feel nice, and you come forward to me, man, and give you a house.
And
how you could do that
I
for
wonder
years
about that
and years
because
and years.
my thing is, right, how are you going to fool me twice with the same thing? Like,
desperation.
You fooled me once, I understand.
Desperation.
Right? But how you going to expect that you're going to come and tell me the same thing? Like, change it up a little bit now?
Listen, there is an art in
lying?
In telling those type of lies. There is an art. I come and I give you an excuse on why I couldn't do it. And you're going to do it good this time. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. Man, trust me, man. And I come and I probably get a little $500. Hold that there for me so long and buy something, I'm going to come back. And they tell you a lot of lies. And they have people who build business. Well, how Bernie Madoff and all them guys get to go with everybody money, so? there's an art to it, and we might want to believe it, yes or not. There are people out there who build careers on telling lies, like the scammers and all them other people. And we have people here who, year after year after year after year after year, come out and tell you what exactly you want to hear. But there was never no intentions of doing it.
That's one of the reasons I am not into party politics, and a lot of people are always trying to mix me in all kind of things, but I am not into party politics, and I know I feel like you know that already.
Yeah.
Because I grew up seeing a lady, an old lady. Well, when you're small, everybody old. So I don't know how old the woman was, but she looked older. She was always dirty. She had no electricity. She had a lamp that, used to produce a lot of soot. So she was...
the kerosene lamp then. Mm-hmm.
And she would come and she would ask us to go to the shop for her, because she wasn't very mobile either, right? And we would go to the shop for her, and so she would give us money, like 10 cents and whatever, to make up whatever, and we would go. And you didn't see anybody coming to look for that woman. But on election day, somebody came, collected her, took her to vote, and then she came back with a malt.
Okay.
And I'm like, but I'm all supposed to lie. And I remember even as a child thinking, this is wickedness.
It is.
This is wickedness. And that image comes to me all the time. All the time. And that is why I don't feel like I could never have that kind of blind loyalty to no politics, because I suffer in all 5 years.
Yeah.
But you remember me, and you remember that I'm thirsty on election day.
Yeah. You only exist on a list.
That cannot be it.
You only exist on a list.
I mean, anyway.
Listen, and as I say, I canvass and I go around and I talk to people every day, and it hurts me heart to see how some people live in. It hurts me heart to see that we have a government in office that you only exist, just like that same lady you spoke about. Because I come from Malone Avenue, and I had a particular lady living in Malone Avenue.
There are many of them.
And she only wear a red shirt alone, until the red shirt turned pink, until the red shirt turned white, and then the red shirt turned brown, and then somebody come and bring a couple more red shirts for her. And no land, no house, no opportunities, no nothing at all. Grandchildren and then grandchildren and great-grandchildren come around, and there is nothing there tangible that they could say, well, I am loyal to this particular party because, we seen we were. Nothing. You just exist on paper every 5 years.
There is no upward mobility for some people.
It's not.
And I think I spoke to you about this before, because I remember one time Garfield was here, I think it was on Julie's show, and we were speaking about, history and how we were raised and that kind of thing, right? I wasn't raised rich, but when I started to teach and I saw some of the struggles of the children, I had no idea that there was that level of poverty in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Because, in Bastille, poverty in Bastille is different from poverty in certain villages, right? I had no idea, and I'm like, these are the people who are most loyal to political parties.
Yeah.
It reminds me of religion.
Like a cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like.
And probably it stems from the trauma too, because those persons got a story about the other side. Well, them they don't do it to me too. So these you're doing it to me. So what to do?
So you're going to be loyal to people who don't care about you?
We have to be able to change that cycle.
And
we have to be able to change the expectation of people from politics and from government and from all of them people.
You have a point. It does go back to trauma.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're live.
Well, what you're describing there is really heart-rending. You know, why do people, regardless of their circumstance, continue to vote like this? You know, it's not self-interest to do that, right? And
But you know,
what it
Mr.
was-
McMahon, when just before I took the call, I said it goes back to trauma. Why did some of us sit down? Well, not us, but our ancestors sit down and care more about the master than we cared about ourselves. We were taught to do that, and some of us have not
Never
let
broken.
go that as yet.
But okay, all right, and I guess you can understand that from some people. After all, look at what happens with religion.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's on us that we choose leaders who are so cynical that they know better. How could they feel, right, going to ask somebody for a vote, seeing their condition, and don't go back until the next 5 years? How could they, I mean, what kind of conscience they got? And that's the problem we have with leaders that we have now. They just think politics, they just think power, they just think dollars, and they're not really committed to people, right? That's the problem. They're cynical. They'll say, well, that's how politics has always been practiced, and so I can continue that, instead of somebody changing it, right? And it's for us to make sure that we have people, if they don't live up to our expectations, change them. Simple, right? And one other thing, manners notwithstanding, if the United States were going in to Cuba or was putting an embargo on Cuba just so that it would become democratic, you know, I would partially understand, right? But what Venezuela has shown, they don't really care about democracy and elections and fairness, you know. They just want somebody, a puppet in there, who would do their bidding.
They
And
are
it's
trying.
It would be the same thing in Cuba.
They're trying to reverse the revolution. That's plain and simple. Before the revolution, Cuba belonged to who? Who had all the wealth of the resources in Cuba?
Batista and those guys, yes.
And American influence, right? So that's what they're trying to do now. Don't feel like they care. They don't care. They don't care about people in the Caribbean. They don't care. Remember when they went into Venezuela, they said nobody died. Nobody died. But then we later learned that Cubans died, Venezuelans died, but they don't matter.
But what they said is no Americans died.
No, they said there were no casualties. That's what Trump said. No casualties. What they really meant was none of us.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
So those people are not really people.
So that's what I'm saying, right? As long as there's a group in Cuba who call them dissidents, or in Miami just waiting to take over, if they take over, that's the end of that. They may still end up with a dictatorship, right?
And the poor people going to still be suffering.
The same thing, right? That's the unfortunate thing about it.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
McMahon.
that contribution. And Novian, we have 6 minutes left. You want to wrap now?
Sure, we can. As I said, we are looking forward to implement, and in the near future, we'll hear more of what Pam would have to offer to our country. You heard our political leader spoke about the student assistance program that we will definitely introduce when we win in the next general election, and there are more that would come as time progresses. And we really need a government that cares, a government that would not do all the lot of talking, but a government that is filled with action, that is geared towards uplifting people's life. All of what we would be outlining, all about our outline today and we would outline in the future, is geared towards poor people's prosperity. uplifting people's life, uplifting families' life, uplifting the communities, and at the end of the day, uplifting St. Kitts and Nevis. That is our main agenda. And the pastor is right. You find people come around and they're saying almost the same thing that you say. And how does the electorate differentiate between you as somebody genuine and those people are trying to trick you over and over again? And for me, you gotta do your due diligence. You have to see where that person was before politics, what they were doing before politics. They used to be out there helping people before politics. Even doing politics, do you see them help people genuinely from the heart? Do they always walk around with a camera and as soon as they get a man $2 to buy a $2 bread, they got it up on Facebook and on Instagram up and on the place with it? Them is the things you have to look at. You have to be able to identify that wolf in sheep clothing and select persons who would genuinely feel happy when you get through. Go home and think about it. Like the other day I saw a lady, the same lady that was talking about where she been trying to get a house for all these years. And I told her, once I am successful, I will help you. Because I knew the lady, but we never really spoke like that. And seeing her conditions and seeing the sincerity in she words and how she went through, give me the whole history lesson from when she started voting first and who all she voted for and what they come and say. I spoke to her like for 45 minutes. And she went through step by step by step by step by step by step by step. And she said, no, we are not stop vote. I've stopped vote. Me ain't voting for nobody else. I'm telling you, the first person I asked for a house was this person. And she went down the line for all these years. Every 5 years they come and they ask, she asking and she asking because she have children. And she knew what she wanted. She had the ability to pay. And nobody never take her on. And that's the only thing she ever asked for. She never asked for no money to vote. She's work hard, children working hard still, and she just wanted that opportunity. And I tell her, you're not missing so small. You know I'm sincere. You know I am genuine. You know that once we are successful, you will get that house. And it ain't because you vote for me or because you and my parents was friends, or me and you become friends and me and your children are friends, because I know that you genuinely need it. And I said it at the press conference. When you look at, in canvassing, you go around and you look at the houses on the project housing up there, like Pine Gardens and New Road and them other projects there. A lot of them houses are on rent. People renting those houses. And if you got the ability to rent those houses, it means that in most cases, is the wrong person actually got those houses?
Not necessarily, What happened, because I could speak about my project, a lot of people left. They don't live in St. Kitts anymore. So because they left after some time, they got opportunities.
How much of those instances you think exist?
On my project, on my road, a lot. On my road alone, a lot.
But there are...
So because they left, somebody renting the house.
And I'm not disputing that. There are some of those, but there are others where you get a house because me and you is friend, and you rent it to Junie.
No, there are some people who never ever lived in their house, who rented it from the beginning.
Correct.
But a lot of people, and because, I live on a project, and there are people who I see no one, because, the original people who live there, and I don't know them because the houses are on rent. And some people died too. So, you get a house when you're 60-something and you die. Your children, maybe not really interested in the house, they put it on rent and that kind of thing. But that's what happened. On my road alone, a lot of people left St. Kitts.
Well, that project that you're on is it's understandable over there because that's a project from a very long time ago.
It's over 30 years old.
Correct.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of instances where you would hear, well, the landlord lived somewhere down there, and they're living in it since the house was built and handed over. And it's that same instance as what I'm talking about. It means that the wrong person actually got the house. And we have people, single mothers, small families, who really, really, really honestly need those houses. And we misuse that sort of program and turn it into gifts, you know?
Well, a
and
gift.
we,
Listen, I never understood that gift because let's squeeze in this final call. I never understand that gift because you had to pay for it. So that's a very expensive gift. Good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Hey, good afternoon. I heard, let me know if I heard incorrectly, $130 per child between the age of 13 and 18?
No, it's broken on a bit differently. At least for now, it stands at, I believe it's $100 between first farm and second farm. Third, fourth, and fifth, it's $125, and CFBC sixth farm is $150.
Okay, so as I hear this suggestion, one of the things I'm thinking about is the lack of control and how the money may be utilized. And so, because when you consider the pool, that's quite a bit of money if you spend it over a year. When you all put it together, it's quite a sum. And so I'm thinking, why not an initiative with controls? Bus fee has gone up quite a bit over the past couple of months. What if we were to create a system where we cover the cost of bus fee? Because then we know the funds will not be spent on KFC or the movies. The bus pass is created. A parent will now have an extra 150 or 1 to 150 disposable income that can be applied to real expenses rather than being tempted to spend that funds on anything. I think giving cash it's a free-for-all and it's a total lack of control. And so it needs to be, because the effectiveness needs to be measured, and it cannot be measured if I just give $150 cash.
You knew, I mean, you look at what the Poverty Alleviation Fund did, and you could look at what the new JAD system did and how the recipients responded to that. They didn't have the ability to get stuff from the shop around the corner or the shop through the alley. They had to go to Rams or Hosford or selected shops to get what they needed. Based on what I heard, people it inconvenienced people and the money trickled down, but not as effective as the Poverty Alleviation Fund did. So, I mean, it's double-sided, and I really understand what you're saying.
Correct, because your point has merit, you know. I'm not saying that doesn't have merit. What I'm saying is if we're going to assist school children, then let's be more direct in the approach. Because $150 in my hand as a parent, I can do whatever, and the need will still be neglected. So, because we leave that to the parent to decide how those funds are expended. And so, with a direct approach, and I'm not saying do this, I'm saying we need controls so we can measure the effectiveness of the initiative, is the point I'm making.
Yeah,
the
understood.
The example was just something, you know what I mean, it was just an example, but it has a control on it. Because a bus pass for $150, it has a value over a month. And, you know, like in Barbados, I think there are other countries where you have the bus pass the last X amount of time. If they put a mark on it, we know how many times you've used it for the month, and we can measure the value of the bus pass.
Right.
That is just an example. But one thing we just need, for it to be directly affecting the intent of helping school children, it needs to be more controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, caller, thank you for that contribution.
Yeah, man.
So, Novian?
Yeah, so I understand his point. It's in its inception, and
my question, though, because the point about the bus pass was raised, What about children in constituency 2? Majority of them don't catch bus to go to school. So how are we going to form a controlled program to help those? Because I'm going to look out for constituency 2. Right?
Well, both of us can be looking out for constituency number 2.
I'm going to advocate for constituency 2 because that's where I live. So the children in McKnight or whatever, they don't need help.
But sometimes you just find that they just catch a little bus go up the street.
They
up
don't
here.
want, majority of them don't
Majority, but
Majority
some of them
walk.
would go up there. But as I said, it's coming up with a
so
bulletproof.
maybe the bus pass is a good idea,
For
but
those in
maybe
the
not
rural
really
areas.
an idea for this program because there are school buses in the rural areas as well, right? So maybe we can look at that for children who live in some areas.
Right. I need that particular assistance.
Yes, in addition to
Yeah.
the that program that you were mentioning.
Most
but
definitely.
put some controls in place with that program.
Right. And it's still with the control, but still allowing the proceeds to be able to trickle down into the economy.
Maybe you can use a card. Maybe you could upload the monies to a card that would work in certain places, but may not work in other places. I don't know. We're just brainstorming at this time, but that's why conversations like these are so important because yes, you're putting forward an initiative, but the people can help to streamline the initiative.
Correct. And it ain't nothing set in stone. The initiative is there, and we are hearing from the people how they would like us to build out this program. So they're helping us to help them at the end of the day.
Yeah, because they are the ones who need it. So this is how we're going to end Hot Topics for today?
Yes, most definitely. We are here for the people, and we are here to stay. So.
Okay. I want to end on somewhat of a sad note. I want to end by sending prayers and condolences to the family of Johnny Liebert, Freedom FM CEO. He lost his brother this morning, so we're keeping him up in prayers. I think everybody, well, I don't know if everybody, but most of us, we know Carl Rees Liebert. We interacted with him at some point in our life, and it is very sad when we have to say goodbye to loved ones. So at this point in time, we are keeping them in our prayers.
Yes.
And that's how we're going to end Hot Topics for today. And we'll be on next week, Tuesday.
Next week, Tuesday, same time, same place.
The man for you.
St. Kitts and Nevis' #1 station. Freedom FM 106.5.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the main event. Anguilla, are you ready for 2 great bands? One night only. Saturday, 28th February from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. at the luxurious Lobster House Restaurant in South Hill.
Come out and witness the newly crowned Power Soca Monarch out of St. Kitts, Brandon Cranston and the ASAP band Drop It versus Anguilla's 10-time road match champion PVI Drop It Like It's Hot jam session.
DJ Play and DJ Tights will be on the 1s and 2s all night long. PVI will be releasing their first tune for Carnival 52, Party Time, recorded at Gangway Records in St. Kitts. Also launching PVI's Juve Fantasy Trip. Admission, $25 US by ticket, or you pay $30 US at the door.
Tickets available from the following outlets: at the Tackle Box, Best Buy East and West, and PVI executive members. Don't miss it. It's gonna be a night to remember. This event is sponsored by Anguilla Ear Services, Olympus Shopper Services, A&A Trucking, Aguilita Rama, Cariva Rama, St. Kitts Old Road Rama, Nevis Spice Rama, and Nelson Spring Water. Tropical Distributors, Creative Distributors, Red Lion Distributors, Rude Boy Anguilla, Lobster House Restaurant, and Best Buy Supermarkets. Anguilla, it's gonna be a night to remember.
Ship will sail on the ocean for the Lone February party this coming Sunday, 22nd February, promptly at 6. Boarding begins at 5. This is a ticket-only event. On board the big ship will be DJ Terror, Aka You Sweet, DJ Tangles, and the undisputed best horny action, Grand Busters.
Big ship sailing on the ocean.
Tickets for this event available right now at the BCA and at Champions Bar at Port Sante for $50 before Friday. From Friday, it's $70. So you better get your tickets now, because I tell you already and I'm going to tell you again, this is a ticket-only event. This coming Sunday, get on board the big ship with DJ Terror, Akai, Dangles, and Grand Masters. All aboard!
It is important that we pay our mortgage on time at NHC for your future security and a peace of mind. It is important that we pay our mortgage on time at NHC. It's your responsibility and it's also mine. The management and staff at NHC want to encourage all who hold the key to keep up to date, pay your mortgage on time for your future security. It is important that we pay our mortgage on time at NHC. We help you build equity for a peace of mind. It is important that we pay our mortgage on time at NHC. We help you build equity for a peace of mind.
The National Housing Corporation, NHC, is located at Park Range, Bastia, St. Kitts. Easy no mind.
The countdown is on. On Tuesday, February 17th, the management and staff of Amory Bakery will celebrate 77 years of service to our federation. On our anniversary, enjoy buy one, get one free on all breads and selected pastries at all of our locations. The first 77 customers will receive a special gift. Amory Bakery, baking with love since 1949.
Amory Bakery. Quality you can taste, a name you can trust.
Wake up, worship, walk in purpose. Start your day grounded in faith with morning devotions with Serenade. Uplifting worship, powerful reflections, and encouragement to strengthen you for what lies ahead. Join us Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m., right here on Freedom FM 106.5. Anointed mornings, empowered days.
Feet on the floor, but my heart looking high.
Now boarding Anguilla Air Services passengers with direct flights to St. Kitts. Round trips are only $284 US. St. Kitts taxes and fees included. Come, experience the magic. Best price, best value, best service. A new chapter in Caribbean connectivity is here. Come fly with Anguilla Air Services today. From the breathtaking views as you lift off from Anguilla to the warm embrace of St. Kitts as you touch down. This service is more than a flight. It's a bridge for family.